Hey, thanks for joining me again. Today I want to talk about what might be the most important topic of all that we get to cover. It's without a doubt the most common source of tension when it comes to communication between men and women. And that is the actual reason why we communicate. What is the difference there? Why is that such a big deal? What we're going to learn today very quickly is that men and women typically come to this place of communication, the place where we'll actually speak or write, for very different reasons. I want to start with men, for example. Men communicate for a very specific reason. They communicate to solve something, okay? But there's a process they go through before they even get to that point. When a man is confronted with a problem, with a challenge, he will first bring it internal. He'll start thinking about it, contemplating it, looking for the solution by himself. Okay, it's referred to as going into the cave or, being able to draw back, that sort of thing. That's how men begin their process. They process internally. They go through all of the different things, all the different scenarios that they might come up with, and then, only then, if they can't come up with a solution on their own, will they go outside of themselves and communicate with somebody else to actually try to get the problem solved. So understand that when men begin communication, they begin to talk, they begin to interact, write, whatever it is, they are actually seeking, looking for, actively, a solution to a problem that they have that they've not been able to solve themselves. Now that's very important, especially whenever we look at how women tend to communicate. And ladies, I know you've wondered this before. Why is he always trying to fix me? Why does he always try to give me a solution when I just want to talk with him? Well, here's the problem. Men talk and communicate to solve problems. They process internally. Women, on the other hand, process externally. Okay? They can communicate back and forth and process with each other whenever they have an issue. Sometimes I've learned that women will communicate with each other over a topic before they even know if there is a problem. Part of the processing is determining if there is a problem that needs to be solved or not. The communication itself is just part of the process. Whenever a woman will get to a point where she needs a solution, she'll typically ask for it. That's no big deal. However, whenever you take men who only communicate to get a problem solved and women who will communicate to even process to determine if there is a problem, and you put them together, ladies, you'll be expressing something and processing with him, just wanting to process out loud, just wanting to talk about it. And he'll be zeroing in on what he thinks the problem is and where the solution is. And you'll wonder, why on earth is he always trying to fix me? How come he can't just talk to me? He doesn't talk just to talk. He talks in order to find a solution. Guys, women don't just talk to find a solution. A lot of times they will talk for the sake of processing, for the sake of interacting. It's that relationship that they get in the communication that's more important than ever getting to a solution would be. So here's the thing that we need to do. Whenever we get together with members of the opposite sex, one of the most important things to do, get your pen and paper, write this down. Assume the other person is trying. That's it. Assume the other person is sincerely trying to communicate with you. Ladies, assume that the guys want to help you, okay? But it's important for you to let them know that sometimes helping means just being able to talk and help you process through something, okay? Acknowledge that you know that he processes internally and you value that and you would like for him to process externally with you. Guys, whenever you're talking with ladies, understand they may not want a solution. Something I've started to implement in my own life with a lot of success, fortunately, is with my wife or any other women that I communicate with on a regular basis. Sometimes I will ask them, if I find myself zeroing in and going to give them a solution to the problem, I'll actually ask, so are you looking for a solution to this, or are you just wanting to process it? You would be amazed how much that opens up the conversation and allows things to move so much easier. So when we assume that the other person is really trying to communicate with us, instead of the assumption that they're either being deliberately brusque or deliberately vague or whatever it might be, whenever we realize that there are differences and we actually work to try to get through those differences, not to change each other, but to manage the tension that exists between the two. Whenever we have different definitions, different filters, different experiences, different values, different reasons for communicating, If we can start to understand that about each other, then we can manage that tension and we can get the energy that flows out of it. Because if anything's going to get done in this life, it's going to get done through communication. So we got one more time to come in and sit down and talk about communication, and then I'll turn you loose to go out there to get things done with the rest of the world. I appreciate you spending this time with me. I hope it's been beneficial for you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks.